So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Cal Cup Derby, which is on Cal Cup Day at Santa Anita on Saturday, and it's the fourth race. It's a mile and a 16th for 3-year-old Cal-breds, and as you'll see, here's the field. This is a small field. It's only 5 horses: Last Call London, Mitchie's Express, Stolen Treasure, Gentleman's Club, and Wild Jewels. So just from a betting perspective, I don't see that this would have any value other than in the exotics or sequence betting, and we're going to get to that. We're going to craft a pick 6 ticket after we take a look at this. So looking at the field, we've got a lone speed here in Stolen Treasure. He just raced against Last Call London, Mitchie's Express, and Gentleman's Club. They were all in the race over at Los Al, and it was a pretty good effort. Stolen Treasure took advantage of what normally is a speed bias and went right to the front as he's wanting to do, and was very game in the stretch with Last Call London. Couldn't quite get the job done, and Stolen Treasure is a horse heading in the right direction. The thing is, if you look at his past performances, he has a very definitive pattern of races. In other words, he goes, his first 3 races, he got a little better with each, culminated in the third where he got a career top. Then he regressed in the next start, got a little better after that, and then culminated in a career high in his last race where he just lost to Last Call London. So those are definitive form cycles. So I think he's ready to start a new one, and that's why I'm kind of holding off on him in this race. I could see including him if you choose, but he also is going to have Wild Jewels to deal with and Last Call London, and I think that's going to give him a lot to handle for a horse who's starting a new form cycle. So I'm going to pass on Stolen Treasure, but if you want to include him, I can understand it, but I just think he's got a little too much to deal with. Last Call London impressed me. I think this is one where the light bulb has gone off. He's getting into distances that are certainly more to his liking. He's by Stay Thirsty. He's definitely a 2-turn horse. And I really liked what he did in the last race. He got a career high. And I think he's coming in third off the layoff. So I think another move forward is highly likely. That was an impressive effort. He showed a lot of grit, which you always want to see from a young horse. And I think that he should be sitting right off of Stolen Treasure's throat latch, and it'll likely be a repeat of what we saw in the last race. So definitely like Last Call London in here. Wild Jewels ran a good race last time as first at a route, and he acquitted himself well, rated off the pace, and showed some grit holding off his rival in the stretch. But the thing is, that was on synthetic, and I always love the all-weather to dirt angle. So that's one of the things that intrigues me about Wild Jewels. But, his Brisnet number was considerably lower. It was an 80 compared to Last Call London's 88, even though they both got this. They got the same buyer speed figure. So that's really important to note. I think what it indicates is that the quality of the race wasn't quite as good as Last Call London's. So if I had to be pressed to pick one, I would take Last Call London in this spot. However, I think it's very possible third off the layoff that Wild Jewels could move forward, and coming from synthetic to dirt, I think he'll be in good position too. They're both going to run the same race. They're both going to be right off Stolen Treasure. So to me, I think that Last Call London, I give a little bit of an edge, but I think it's one of these two in a really small field. So we just talked about the Cal Cup Derby, and we're going to use Wild Jewels and Last Call London in the first leg. But let's talk about the other legs. I do have a video on the late pick 5 that you can, if you want a little more in-depth analysis, I refer you to that. But let's just talk about the legs, and we're going to use in leg 2, which is the 5th race, the Cal Cup Oaks. We're going to use Prancing Through Paris, number 2, Asada Fries, number 4, Grand Slam Smile, who number 9, who I believe is my pick to win the race, and number 5, Sushi Sticks. I think it's a race that we're looking for horses that have the potential to move forward from that group. Those are the ones I've selected, and in particular, I think Grand Slam Smile just has a class edge. But Prancing Through Paris and Sushi Sticks are ones that I think have a definitive move forward in them, and hopefully we can get Prancing Through Paris for you with a little bit of value, or perhaps we don't get too short a price on Sushi Sticks. But I think those are the most logical ones. In leg 3, the 6th race, it's an optional claimer for 20,000. Non-winners at 2 lifetime at 6.5 furlongs for older horses. To me, this is El Rey Dorado's Race to Lose, number 5. And the only one I see, because he's the lone speed primarily, but Crypto Ride, I think, is one that looks poised to take a jump. And at 8-1, I think you're getting very good value. But if you look at the field, there's really El Rey Dorado's the lone speed, coming off a nice gritty effort in his last race within the class. And so I think those two make the most sense. So we're going to stick with 4 at Crypto Ride and 5 El Rey Dorado. In leg 4, the 7th race, this one is the Sunshine Millions filly and mare turf sprint. It's run on the Hillside Turf Course at 6.5 furlongs. So experience over that course is imperative here. I think it's the defining characteristic. I don't want horses who really haven't had experience. I think this is a spread race. They seem fairly evenly matched. We're going to toss Chancing Way, mainly because she doesn't have experience over the turf course, and I'm not sure about her stamina. And this is a race that usually favors horses who have the mile type of stamina, because that's the way it plays. So we like Stay and Scam. I think number 6 makes a lot of sense. But we're going to throw in number 1, Medea, number 2, Rose Maddox. I think those are the 3 prime win candidates. I think Rose Maddox and Stay and Scam probably are my I'm a little more in favor of, so we're going to use those 2 primarily. But if you want to throw in Medea, I can understand it, but I'm just not as comfortable. I don't think she's quite the horse that the 2 or the 6 are, so those will be our primary uses. And then in the 5th leg, race 8, the Cal Cup Sprint Stakes, it's at 6 furlongs. This is pretty self-evident. It's the Chosen Vron. A Brickyard Ride, is a hell of a horse and will be on the front end. But at 7 years old, I don't think he's quite the horse he used to be. And the fact that Chosen Vron, just 2 weeks off the Breeders' Cup, where he ran pretty well, he came back and won. This is a hell of a horse. It's really hard to knock him, and I won't. So we're going to single the Chosen Vron, number 2. And then in the final leg, the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. It's a 1 1/8 on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. Kings River Knight looks pretty good, except for one thing. The only time he ran out of the money was at 1 1/8, or out of the exacta. I think it's a little far for him. I think there's some value in this race. Bally's Charm is also going to complicate things for Kings River Knight. Being on the front end, they both kind of want to do the same thing. Bally's Charm just has 1 gear, and he's basically all out from the get-go. He could very well win this race, but I think it's more he's going to compromise the Kings River Knight than anything else. I think there's some value to be had with those 2 knocking heads in the front end. And from the group, Catalina Eddie, number 9 at 20-1, I think offers a lot of good value. He ran a good sprint race last time. It was a little better than it looks because he was coming off a layoff. He was a little short. I think second off the layoff, moving to a more comfortable distance. I think that he is awful dangerous in here. Could be coming late and get a jump on the other horses, and particularly if you have Bally's Charm and Kings River Knight wear each other out. Carmelita's Man is pretty obvious, as a horse coming from off the pace, but I'm not sure his ability to win is there. But we're going to include him. I think it's very logical. Of the closers, he makes a lot of sense. And then Paso Rondo at 15 to 1, I think, is another one that shows that he's got a good race coming up. And I think, you want value in this race if it's not one of the top two. And at 15 to 1, I think he provides it. And so I think he's going to be another one to look out for coming late. And we really want value in this pick six. And this is a race where I think we can find it. Alligato, number 7, I'll just mention. He just doesn't win. He's game. He's always in the money, but he just doesn't win. And that's why I'm not going to include him. So for the final leg, we are going to use 2, 3, 5, 8, and 9. And we're going to hope we can get some value in that final leg to make for a really nice payout in the pick six.